flight's cancelled. They've rebooked us on Lufthansa.
Lufthansa is the largest German airline. The company was founded on January 6, 1953 and commenced operations on April 1, 1955. The German airline has a fleet size of 274 and made a total of 220 destinations, and to this very day, the company is still alive and healthy. So, how did it become so popular? Let's find out. 1950s, post-war reformation. Lufthansa traces its history to 1926 when Deutsche Lufthansa AG, stylized as Deutsche Lufthansa from 1933 onwards, was formed in Berlin. DLH, as it was known, was Germany's flag carrier until 1945 when all services were terminated following the defeat of Nazi Germany. In an effort to create a new national airline, a company called Gesellschaft für Luftfahrtbahn, correct me if I said that wrong, also known as Luftbag, was founded in Cologne on January 6, 1953, with many of its staff having worked for the pre-war Lufthansa. West Germany had not yet been granted sovereignty over its airspace, so it was not known when the new airline could become operational. Nevertheless, in 1953, Lufthansa placed orders for 4 Convair CV-340s and 4 Lockheed L-1049 Super Constellations and set up a maintenance base at Hamburg Airport. On August 6, 1954, Lufthansa acquired the name and logo of the liquidated Deutsche Lufthansa for DM 30,000, which is equivalent to 35,000 pounds today, thus continuing the tradition of a German flag carrier of that name. On April 1, 1955, Lufthansa won approval to start scheduled domestic flights linking Hamburg, Dusseldorf, Frankfurt, Cologne, and Munich. International flights started on May 15, 1955 to London, Paris, and Madrid, followed by Super Constellation flights to New York City from June 1st of that year, and across the South Atlantic from August 1956. In August 1958, 15 Lufthansa 1049Gs and 1949s left Germany each week to Canada and the United States. 3 1049Gs a week flew to South America, 3 flew to Tehran, and 1 to Baghdad. In parallel, the airline also initiated a marketing campaign to sell itself in West Germany. The challenges involved encouraging travelers to consider visiting the country in the wake of World War II, as well as offering services to other nations via the Frankfurt Airport hub. More specifically, Lufthansa's efforts shaped and reflected the development of a modern form and consumerism and advertising through the sale of air travel. By 1963, the airline, initially limited in its public relations efforts, had become a major purveyor of West Germany's image abroad. The special status of Berlin meant that Lufthansa was not allowed to fly to either part of Berlin until Germany reunification in 1990. Originally thought to be only a temporary matter, and with intentions to move the airline's headquarters and main base there once the political situation changed. The division of Germany turned out to be longer than expected, which gradually led to the Frankfurt Airport becoming Lufthansa's primary hub. East Germany tried to establish its airline in 1955 using the Lufthansa name, but this resulted in a legal dispute with West Germany, where Lufthansa was operating. East Germany instead established Interflug as its international airline in 1963, which coincided with the East Germany Lufthansa being shut down. 1960s introduction of jetliners. In 1958, Lufthansa ordered 4 Boeing 707s and started jet flights from Frankfurt to New York City in March 1960. Boeing 720Bs were later brought back up the 707 fleets. In February 1961, Far East routes were extended beyond Bangkok, Thailand to Hong Kong and Tokyo. Lagos in Nigeria and Johannesburg, South Africa were added in 1962. Lufthansa introduced the Boeing 727 in 1964, and that May began the polar route from Frankfurt to Tokyo via Anchorage. In February 1965, the company ordered 21 Boeing 737s that went into service in 1968. Lufthansa was the first customer for the Boeing 737 and was one of 4 buyers of the 737-100s. The others were NASA, Malaysia Singapore Airlines, and Aviasia, while the NASA airframe was the first built. It was the last delivered and originally intended for delivery to Lufthansa. Lufthansa was the first foreign launch customer for a Boeing airliner. 1970s to 1980s, the wide-body era. The wide-body era for Lufthansa started with a Boeing 747 flight on April 26, 1970. It was followed by the introduction of the D-1030 on November 12, 1973, and the first Airbus A300 in 1976. In 1979, Lufthansa and Swiss Air became launch customers for the Airbus A310 with an order for 25 aircraft. The company's fleet modernization program for the 1990s began on June 29, 1985, with an order for 15 Airbus A320s and 7 Airbus A300-600s. 10 Boeing 737-300s were ordered a few days later. All were delivered between 1987 and 1992. Lufthansa also bought Airbus A321, Airbus A340, and Boeing 747-400 aircraft. In 1987, Lufthansa, together with Air France, Iberia, and Scandinavian Airlines, founded Amadeus, an IT company also known as a GDS, that would enable travel agencies to sell the founders and other airlines products from a single system. Lufthansa adopted a new corporate identity in 1988. The fleet was given a new livery while cabins, city offices, and airport lounges were redesigned. 1990s to 2000s, further expansion. On October 28, 1990, 25 days after reunification, Berlin became a Lufthansa destination again. On May 18, 1997, Lufthansa, Air Canada, Scandinavian Airlines, Thai Airways International, and United Airlines formed Star Alliance, the world's first multilateral airline alliance. In 2000, Air One became a Lufthansa partner airline, and nearly all Air One flights were code-shared with Lufthansa until Alitalia purchased Air One. Lufthansa has a good track record for posting profits. Even in 2001, after 9/11, the airline suffered a significant loss in profits, but still managed to stay in the black. While many other airlines announced layoffs, typically 20% of their workforce, Lufthansa retained its current workforce. On December 6, 2001, Lufthansa announced an order for 15 Airbus A380 Super Jumbos with 10 more options, which was confirmed on December 20th. The A380 fleet would be used for long-haul flights from Frankfurt exclusively. In June 2003, Lufthansa opened Terminal 2 at München, France, Joseph Straub Airport, to relieve its main hub, Frankfurt, which was suffering from capacity constraints. It is one of the first terminals in Europe partially owned by an airline. On May 17, 2004, Lufthansa became the launch customer for the Konoxen by Boeing in-flight online connectivity service. In autumn 2003, the implementation of a new sales strategy initiated by then-incumbent Executive Vice President Daria Intorni to make the company fit for the digital era led to ampliation of the commission payments for travel agencies and led to a revolution in the German travel business, with many travel agencies disappearing from the market. On the one hand,
I'm switching it off.
the rise of new digital distribution platforms on the other hand. On March 22, 2005, Swiss International Airlines was purchased by Lufthansa's holding company. The accusation included the provision that the majority shareholders, the Swiss government and large Swiss companies, be offered payment if Lufthansa's share price outperforms an airline index during the years following the merger. The two companies will continue to be run separately. On December 6, 2006, Lufthansa placed an order for 20 Boeing 747-8, becoming the launch customer of the passenger model. The airline is also the second European airline to operate the Airbus A380 after Air France. The first A380 was delivered on May 19, 2010, while the first 747-8 entered service in 2012. In September 2008, Lufthansa Group announced its intent to purchase a stake in Brussels Airlines SN. In June 2009, the EU Commission granted regulatory approval and Lufthansa acquired 45% of SN. In September 2016, Lufthansa announced it would purchase the remainder of Brussels Airlines for 2.6 million euros. The transaction was completed in early January 2017. The decision was partially after the Brussels airport bombings of March 2016, which caused SN to lose almost 5 million euros per day until April 3rd. In April 2009, Lufthansa purchased Austrian Airlines with the approval of the European Commission. On June 11, 2010, Airbus A380 service between Frankfurt and Tokyo Narita started. 2010's belt tightening. After a loss of 381 million euros in the first quarter of 2010 and another 13 million loss in the year 2011 due to the economic recession and restructuring costs, Deutsche Lufthansa AG cut 3,500 administrative positions, or around 20% of the crucial total of 16,800. In 2012, Lufthansa announced a restructuring program called SCORE to improve its operating profit. As part of the restructuring plan, the company started to transfer all short-haul flights outside its hubs in Frankfurt, München, and Düsseldorf to the company's rebranded low-cost carrier Germanwings. In 2013, Lufthansa Group announced its biggest order for 59 wide-body aircraft value more than 14 billion euros at list prices. Earlier in the same year, Lufthansa placed an order for 100 next-generation narrow-body aircraft. The group has a long-standing dispute with the Burgering Cockpit Union, which has demanded a scheme in which pilots can retire at the age of 55 and 60% of their pay be retained, which Lufthansa insists is no longer affordable. Lufthansa pilots were joined by pilots from the group's budget carrier Germanwings to stage a nationwide strike in support with their demands in April 2014, which lasted 3 days. The pilots staged a 6-hour strike, at the end of which the summer holidays in September 2014, which caused cancellation of 200 Lufthansa flights and 100 German wings flights. In November 2014, Lufthansa signed an outsourcing deal worth $1.25 billion with IBM that will see the US company take over the airline's IT infrastructure, services, division, and staff. In June 2015, Lufthansa announced plans to close its small long-haul base at Dusseldorf Airport for economic reasons by October 2015. At the time, the base consisted of 2 Airbus A340-300s rotating between Newark and Chicago. As a result, service to Chicago from Dusseldorf was first made seasonal, suspended for the winter 2015 season, and then cancelled altogether. Service to Newark, however, has been maintained. From the winter 2015 schedule through the end of the winter 2016 schedule, Dusseldorf was served by aircraft which also flew the Munich-Newark route. The Dusseldorf-Newark route ended on November 30th, 2018, which was operated with an Airbus A330-300 aircraft. Their base was officially closed in March 2019. On March 22nd, 2016, Lufthansa ended Boeing 737-500 operations. The airline's last Boeing 737, a 737-300, was retired on October 29, 2016 after a flight from Milan to Frankfurt. Lufthansa operated the 737 in several variants for almost 50 years, the first aircraft having been delivered on December 27, 1967. On December 4, 2017, Lufthansa became the first European airline to receive the Skytrax 5-star certification. As stated, Skytrax, a key factor in the positive rating was the announcement of a new business class cabin and seating that was expected to be introduced in 2020. While this makes Lufthansa the 10th airline to be holding this award, in reality, the 5th star was given to a product that was supposed to be introduced 2 years after the evaluation. In celebration, Lufthansa painted an Airbus A320 and a Boeing 747-8 in the 5-star Hansa livery. In March 2018, Lufthansa and other airlines like British Airways and American Airlines accepted a request from Beijing to list Taiwan as part of China. In March 2019, Lufthansa ordered 20 Boeing 787-9 and an additional 20 Airbus A350-900 for its own and the group's fleet replacement and expansion. Also, the airline announced it would sell 6 A380 aircraft back to Airbus beginning in 2022. And now we come to the present, which is COVID-19 pandemic and recovery. On March 19, 2020, Lufthansa canceled 95% of all flights due to a travel ban because of the COVID-19 pandemic. On May 14th, Lufthansa's Hans de Haan said the airline would resume flights between Toronto and Frankfurt as of June 3rd. Flights were banned on all international non-essential travel between Canada and the European Union. Prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, Lufthansa operated 64 weekly flights between the two countries. The airline's recovery plans involve high-density cargo to replace paying customers. The Lufthansa Group airlines now require all passengers to wear a mask while aboard. On June 26, Deutsche Lufthansa AG shareholders voted in favor of accepting the capital measures and the participation of the Economic Stabilization Fund (WSF) of the Federal Republic of Germany in Deutsche Lufthansa AG. In total, Lufthansa received about 9 billion euros in government assistance that summer. And there's the history of Lufthansa. How did it become so popular? Well, here's what I have to say. I think the reason why it's because it's so popular is because it was popular before, but now with the situation that we are currently in, Lufthansa is basically making it able to basically make itself stay afloat during these times by basically telling people to do certain things while they're on a board, like wearing face masks. Anyways, that is going to be it for today's video. If you guys happen to enjoy this video, please make sure to hit that like button, and also don't forget to subscribe, and also don't forget to ring that notification bell so you never miss a single video that I upload. And also don't forget to subscribe to my second channel. It will be the third link in the description below. And also don't forget to ring that notification bell on that channel as well so you never miss a single video on that channel or this channel. And also, if you would like to send me fan art, you guys can send me your fan art on my Instagram. My Instagram will be the second link in the description below. And if you guys would like to join my Roblox fan group, my Roblox fan group will be the first link in the description below. And until then, I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye!